Good afternoon. This is a regular meeting of the Cameron County Commissioners Court. It's Thursday, August the 20th. It's approximately 5 p.m. As we do all meetings, we'll start with an invocation by Thomas Karuba at Hosanna Assembly, and that'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flags by Mr. David Barrera. Thomas?
Thank you, Judge. Jesus, we just thank you, Lord, for today, this time that we have. And God, we just come before your throne, and Lord, we just ask for wisdom, counsel, knowledge, and might. God, how to direct the affairs of the county. And God, we speak the power of the blessing upon the county and upon each member, God, upon each person in the county. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag, pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you both. For those of y'all that may not remember, Mr. Barrera was a school board member not too long ago. Welcome to your courthouse, Mr. Barrera. Hello? Hello? Never mind. All right. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. We're going to discuss two items. Item A, deliberation regarding real property concerning the possible sale of Cameron County-owned properties to the U.S. Department of Army, known as tract number ROV, HRL 4000, located in Concepcion de Caricitos Grant, Cameron County, Texas. .0181 acre tract pursuant to Code Section 551.072. Item B, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning authority to file suit against First National Bank Group, Inc. for discussion authority to represent Cameron County in said lawsuit pursuant to Code Section 551.071, 1A and 2. By Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo to come out of executive session. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item A, deliberation regarding real property.
Commissioner Tamayo is looking for her blue pen.
Oh, I have it. Regarding real property concerning the possible sale of Cameron County-owned properties. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge report of counsel?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Wood. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item B, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning the authority to file suit against First National Bank. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge report of counsel? And that it?
That's it. So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, by Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Public comments. Has anybody signed up for public comment? Anybody wish to make a public comment that is not signed up?
I do, Judge.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring to the attention of the public that the people from Schlitterbahn have stepped up to the plate, and they are going to host a beach cleanup this Sunday from 8 to 12. Those people that want to sign up can do so online, and then they would have a free entrance into the park after 12 o'clock. Is Javier here? Javier, do you have any other comments that you might add?
Yeah, you might want to let the public know where they sign up online. Is it through the Cameron County website, or does Schlitterbahn have a website?
It's on Schlitterbahn. If you do a Google on Schlitterbahn, you can go online
Okay.
and sign up. So far, we have 250 people have signed up.
Oh, that's
And what we're going to do is we're going to clean up the beach and the highway. TxDOT is helping us with some signage, so we can have people clean up on the highway as well.
Okay. I'd like to send a word of thanks to Mr. Hawkinson. Hawkinson is his last name, right? Who came and visited with myself and Commissioner Wood and offered this, and Cameron County really needed it, so thank you to them and to Schlitterbahn.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks.
Any other public comment? Moving on to 4A, consideration approval of a proclamation honoring Paul Cowan on the occasion of his retirement as Chief of Staff for Senator Eddie Lucio Jr.
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Wood, second by
Second.
Commissioner Garza. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. We'll present that proclamation at a future date. Item B, consideration and adoption of a resolution honoring Mr. James Brady Parker for his many years of service in law enforcement. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries, and that also will be presented at a future date. Item C, presentation on the One Campaign, Brownsville.
Is it already on?
Hello, my name.
Hi, my name is Paulina Sosa, and I want to firstly thank you all for allowing me to present to you what the One campaign is and what the newly founded One Brownsville is. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and present to you all the details on this. So what exactly is One? Here is a pretty good overview of
Hello,
what it
my
is.
name is Bono. But you can relax. I'm not asking you for your money. I'm here to talk to you about something that turned my life upside down. 20 years ago, like the whole world was turned upside down by pictures from Ethiopia. Sometimes I wish I hadn't seen that TV report. Bob Geldof started wrecking my head, calling me every day until we did Band-Aid and then Live Aid. And some comedians took up the battle. You laughed, you cried, and over the years you gave 289 million. Around the world, 30,000 people are still dying of extreme, stupid poverty every day. I'm talking about children losing their lives because of diarrhea, or because they haven't had an injection that costs 25p. This means someone dying every 3 seconds. That's someone's mother, someone's daughter, another one. Here's Kalki, beautiful, beautiful girl. Now her mother's no longer with us because she couldn't get the drugs that you and I could find at any chemist. It's an emergency. And this year is the best opportunity we're going to get to do something about it. World leaders are meeting in Scotland in July, the G8. They're going to discuss debt cancellation, more and better aid. They're going to discuss making trade rules fairer for everybody so that these people can earn their own way out of poverty. It's a real chance to do something, not just for Kalki, but for millions like her. What will our generation be remembered for? The internet? Yes. The war against terror? Yes. Wouldn't it be great if we were also remembered as being the ones that set about making poverty history?
So that gives you all a very good overview of what the One campaign is all about. And to delve deeper into what the exact issues are, well, first, One is a global campaign to mobilize public opinion and to basically go to U.S. officials and tell them about what the different issues are in regards to One. One members are students, teachers, politicians, business leaders, Republicans, Democrats, independents, people of all walks of faith, and people of all walks of life. And of course, One members work in their local communities, in their faith community, on their neighborhood, pretty much everywhere they go. So to delve deeper, what exactly are the issues of poverty? First, 26,500 to 30,000 children die each day due to poverty, which leads us to our number one major problem of poverty, maternal and child health. 500,000 mothers die each year from complications during childbirth. 10 million suffer from pregnancy-related illnesses. And in 2007, 9.2 million children died before their 5th birthday. 2, over 9 million people, of which 5 million are children. I can barely read that. die worldwide due to hunger and malnutrition. Which leads us to our number 2 major problem of poverty: water, sanitation, and hunger. Increased water stress by 2020. It is projected that 75 to 250 million more people will be exposed to water stress. 963 million people are hungry around the world today, an increase of 40 million people since 2007. And for the 1.9 billion children from the developing world, 640 million are without adequate shelter, 400 million do not have access to safe water, and 270 million do not have access to health services. 3, over 11 million children die each year from preventable causes like malaria, diarrhea, and pneumonia, leading us to our number 3 major problem of poverty: treatable and preventable disease. Sub-Saharan Africa accounts of 90% of malaria deaths, 2/3 of all people with HIV, 1/3 of all tuberculosis cases, and 50% of the victims with polio are children. And 4, around 75 million children are cut off from school and are the poorest and hardest to reach around the world. Which leads us to our number 4 major problem of poverty: lack of education. Sub-Saharan Africa needs 1.8 million more teachers to achieve universal primary education by 2015. And these are the different sources that these statistics were taken from. So what exactly are the solutions to these global problems?
One by one.
They step forward.
A nurse.
A teacher.
A homemaker.
And lives are saved.
But the problem is enormous.
Every 3 seconds, one person dies.
Another 3 seconds.
One more.
The situation is so desperate in parts of Africa,
Asia,
Even America,
That aid groups,
just as they did for the tsunami, are uniting.
As one.
acting,
As one.
We can beat extreme poverty,
Starvation. AIDS.
but we need your help.
one more person.
Letter.
voice,
will mean the difference between life and death.
For millions of people.
please join us.
By working together.
Americans have an unprecedented opportunity.
We can make history.
We can start to make poverty history.
One,
By one.
By one.
Please visit one at this address.
We're not asking for your money. We're asking for your voice.
So with our voice, we can help enhance several things. Development assistance. One has found that the G8 has promised to send has not fulfilled their promise to send $25 billion to Africa by 2010, excuse me. They've only fulfilled about 14.5% of their promise so far. We can enhance debt cancellation, governance and security, and trade and investment. So what are the results so far? so far, those are the results, and as you can tell, it's a great amount. And we are not done. We still have our goal, which is to reach by 2015. So, to continue, who else is helping?
You know, the really remarkable thing, well, I've been coming here for nearly 10 years, and people said I was a fool to think that we could make dealing with extreme poverty a non-bipartisan, a proper bipartisan issue. People laughed that people could act, that this Congress could act, could agree on anything. And the truth of it is today I got some pretty great news. We work together on debt cancellation. There's 20 million children going to school in Africa now who wouldn't have been going without debt cancellation. I came here to talk with these men and women of the United States Congress about AIDS, and John Kerry there, Bill Frist worked together, put that on the map, and the President of the United States worked on that. Now there's 1.34 million Africans on antiretroviral drugs. Malaria, there's amazing things happening on malaria in Kenya. There are half the cases of malaria because of recent interventions. There's 30 million bed nets now. That's 30 million families protected from malaria. Malaria kills 3,000 Africans every day, mostly children. Death by mosquito bite. So I've come today just to spread, to say thank you. Normally, maybe this is why they're taking the meeting. Normally, I'm coming to ask, I'm shaking the tree, I'm banging the drum. But actually,
expecting a concert.
But actually, and here's a hero on debt free. He used to think, he was more impatient than I was, Joe Biden. But it's, both sides of Congress have really done extraordinary things in the last few years. And as regards the presidential race, I can tell you this.
You ducked it so well.
I'm going to duck it now. As regards the presidential race, I can tell you that there's 2.5 million Americans that have signed up for the One campaign to make poverty history. And wherever these candidates go, there are One campaigners asking them the question about their country and saying, do these issues afford us a chance to redescribe America to the rest of the world? And if their answer is yes, they will get our support, whoever they are, man or woman, Republican or Democrat.
Thank you very much. Let's go. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, I understand that was actually kind of hard to hear. So just to sum up what they were saying, or what he was saying, he was basically saying that though many people believe that Republicans and Democrats can never agree on something, fortunately, that theory was proven wrong when it came to global poverty, because U.S. politicians, U.S. officials have come together to fight against this great issue of global poverty. So that's definitely something great for us to keep in mind. And along with our U.S. politicians, we have about 100 organizations that are currently partnered with the One campaign. And so now to go on to locally, where exactly does Brownsville fit into this huge picture? For starters, Austin, Dallas, and Houston are all one cities. And now Brownsville is on that map, which is great. To show you all, here's the overall umbrella of how Brownsville fits into it. So we're all part of one world. We're all part of one country. We're all now part of the One campaign, One Brownsville. Our Brownsville leaders, different government entities, our different community organizations, and the citizens themselves. So how the One campaign helps Brownsville. I understand that's probably hard to see. So just to sum up, one way that it helps is to increase partnerships, not only with local organizations, but the local organizations here in Brownsville can partner with One and the other international organizations that One is partnered with. It also increases awareness and decreases the apathy that I've personally seen a lot in different high school and college students, and pretty much everybody for the most part. There are those few handful of people that really are caring about the issues and really are doing something. But I've seen, unfortunately, in the college scene especially, there are many kids that really either don't know or don't care about the issues. So this will definitely decrease that apathy and increase volunteerism in Brownsville and the county overall. It'll also increase membership in local organizations. As we all know, different local organizations, nonprofits, different programs are always looking for more and more volunteers, and this will definitely bring that to them. Another thing, working in the state representative's office, I have seen this a lot where people come to our office not knowing where they can get help, where they can get financial help for their electricity bill, or how exactly do they get food stamps, how exactly do they do this and that. And as a one city, we can definitely increase awareness and show them, what are the different options, what are the different opportunities that our federal, state, and local government offer to our citizens in Brownsville and in pretty much every city here in the county, to show them what those different programs are to help them locally. Another way is outreach to high schools and colleges. Like I said before, to decrease that apathy within college students is part of it, but to also increase the knowledge and training for them to work with different government officials is definitely an attribute that they can carry with them as they go on from college to grad school to their professional jobs. So overall, Brownsville and every other one city definitely does benefit from partnering with the One campaign. So, and this is really all that One asks of you, of us, and that is to raise your voice, to petition to your local, state, and U.S. officials, and to actively engage our city through raising awareness and increasing membership as a one city. It sounds like very little, but that's really all that they want from us. And how Brownsville helps the One campaign. Pretty much the same idea, increasing membership for One, more voices to bring to U.S. officials, more signatures to sign different petitions. One campaign is known for the petitions that they send out via email. And the more signatures they have to bring to U.S. officials, the more support they have for that specific policy, whether it's to send aid to Africa or to send more volunteers to Southwest Asia. And that policy will more than likely fall through with the more signatures that they receive. Increasing partnerships and overall helping fight against global problems, which helps us inevitably. So these are the different entities that Brownsville has and that the county has. Pretty much every city and county has this. So there's the state officials, there's the county officials, city officials, community organizations such as Rotary, educational institutions such as BISD and UTB, nonprofit organizations such as Friendship of Women, and the religious community, so different churches of all different faiths. And if we can all come together, it's almost like a coalition of voices and groups of people, the bigger the momentum will be to fight against global poverty. So overall, Brownsville helps One, and One definitely helps Brownsville. So what exactly is the plan? So far, we've gotten the city proclamation. The city of Brownsville has already declared Brownsville an official One city, so we are now officially part of this One campaign. Second, to round up a good and solid group of community leaders, which we are currently in the process of doing. We've already gathered support of different state representatives, of different city and county officials, and of different community leaders within the community. So we have board members from the Chamber of Commerce, we have officials from BISD, from UTB, and the list goes on, and hopefully it will continue to grow. And third, to outline the game plan. So here's pretty much what we're going to start doing. We're starting to plan for. We want to one-ify Brownsville, and pretty much what that means is we want to place flyers, we want to hand out white bands, we want to put one declaration at City Hall, at Chamber of Commerce, at different Rotary clubs, just make a huge hurrah of what the One campaign is and make it a big deal in one city, in Brownsville. We also would like to wrap trees with white ribbon, which is a very effective and very cost-efficient way to spread the word of what the One campaign is about, and really what is the issue when it comes to global and local poverty. One media, so we want to have press conferences, we want to organize interviews, write letters to the editor, really use the media as an opportunity and a source to spread the word of our different issues. We want to organize a huge kickoff event, which we're actually starting to plan for, we're thinking June 2010, so that gives us about a year. And at this event, we're shooting for the stars here. We would like to get Bono down here. We want congressmen, the governor, pretty much everybody and anybody that we can get to come to this event. And the overall reason for that is to spread awareness, because the more people that know about it, hopefully the more support we can get. We would like to include one in city events, such as different carnivals, included in different festivals, such as the Sombrero Festival, and included in parades, such as the Christmas Parade or Charo Days Parade. We would also, we're starting to plan for a huge food drive, and this would be for Thanksgiving or possibly Christmas. And as we know, there are already local organizations that are doing this, but in the bigger scheme of things, when you bring them together, the momentum and the movement is so much bigger and so much more effective when you bring everyone together. So that's pretty much the goal. We would like to get pretty much every entity that we have in Brownsville and gather them together and move forward for a huge food drive, huge clothing drive, huge charity drive, really, to benefit the people of Brownsville. And one community group. So we would like to ask our different officials to make introductions from the city or from the county to the Rotary Club, to the Chamber of Commerce, and to different local organizations. And overall, providing a better network for one and recruiting members to sign the one proclamation. So that's the general plan.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one.
So that's the presentation, and I really hope that seeing this presentation has given you a good overview of really what the One campaign is and what One Brownsville will soon become. So I would like to open it up if there's any questions, comments, or even suggestions in regards to this project.
Well, I thank you for the, for the presentation. Whatever we can do to participate, I'm sure the court would love to do that. Just let me know what you need from us, and I know that you're planning something for next summer. Kind of guide us, let us know how you think we can participate and how we can help, and I'm sure everybody would love to do that for you.
Well, thank you very much for your support, Judge.
Any comments?
I just wanted to ask you, and definitely this is needed, and we have it right here in the Valley, a huge need. Have you already made contact with these organizations that already have projects like this going? Are they receptive, or do they want to just do their own, or?
So far, we're pretty much in the midst of contacting all the different entities that we have in Brownsville, such as nonprofits and maybe school organizations, university organizations, and et cetera. And so far, the support has been great. So far, we have a good amount of people that are on board already, but there's still so much more people to reach. But like I said, so far, everyone is on board and would definitely like to join together to make that momentum bigger.
We have wonderful groups that are already doing tremendous things.
Very true.
I just wondered, I'll have more questions, but I'll contact you.
Great, sounds good.
Pauline, I know that you and I have spoken about this in the recent past, but you obviously are getting the word out, because before you and I spoke about it, several other people in the community, several leaders had talked to me about it, and they seem to be very positive with it. So appreciate all your efforts in putting this together.
Thank you for your support. Is there anything else?
Thank you. Do I hear a motion
Thank
to
you.
acknowledge your presentation? By Commissioner Tamayo. Second by Commissioner Gatsa. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Item carries. Consent items. 5A through double Q. Are there any items any member of the court wish to take out and discuss separately?
Why, Judge?
V.
Okay.
Yes.
Item Y.
V.
Item B. Okay, hold on.
V is in victory.
Oh, V is in Victor. Okay.
And KK.
KK?
Yes, sir.
I have
V. Okay.
R and T.
Okay, hold on, guys. Let me start with Commissioner Gatsa first. He started the whole thing first. Let's go. You said item Y.
And item MM.
MM.
That's it for me.
okay? Commissioner Benavides.
V as in victory and double K.
Okay. Double K. Okay. Anything else? I'd like to pull out item B.
Like in boy?
As in boy, item R. Item double E. That's it. Okay. Do I hear a motion to?
Item T.
I'm sorry?
Item T.
T is in Tom. We'll take it out, right? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve all the other items on the consent with the exception of those mentioned prior?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Gatz. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. Item B, consideration and approval of toll rate schedule for the Cameron County International Toll Bridge System effective September 1st, 2009. Pete, that's yours. And the recommendation is?
You should have in your backup the proposed rates, and the only changes to our rates on the automobiles, auto passengers, recommendation is to go from $2.25 to $2.50. On the pedestrian, so that would be an increase of 25 cents. On the pedestrians.
That's Class A
One.
or 1, Class 1?
Class 1, yes. On the pedestrians, we're recommending an increase of a nickel from 60 cents to 65 cents.
Okay.
All the other rates, the only other change is on, those two are the only changes that we're recommending. The commercial rates, I spoke to the representatives from the BMP Bridge in Progreso. They're the only ones pretty much that have a lower rate on automobile passengers. It's a private bridge. More than likely, they'll remain at that same rate. Spoke to the manager from the FAR Bridge, that's pretty much the only other commercial bridge in our area. Up until last January, our commercial rates were about 60 cents higher.
Commercial, you're talking about the truck traffic, right?
Right, the commercial traffic, yes. Up until last January, we were about 60 cents higher per axle. Then last January, they did a big increase, and so now they're about 35 cents lower than we are. He says they've been contemplating it, but more than likely it will not be increased. But their budget is not on a calendar year, but for some reason their rates are reviewed every January. So he said we'll look at them again in January, and then the board will make it. They have a bridge board. They'll make a determination whether to increase the passenger vehicles and the commercial. He said probably we'll follow your lead on the automobiles and go up the quarter, but on commercial rates, he said we'll probably just remain the same as we are today. So
are we higher than they are on the truck rates?
Yeah, we're
still higher.
Yeah, about 35 cents higher per axle.
Because there's been some discussion about looking at possibly raising the truck rates. And I think I asked you a couple of weeks ago, how much did we not make when we reduced the truck rates? It was about 40,000?
Net to the county, 40,000.
40,000?
Because that,
so out of the 2.1 million that we didn't make, 40,000 of that is attributable to the truck traffic?
Right, that's net to the county.
All right.
And, the rates...
On your recommendation, though, is your recommendation to keep the truck rates at the same and then look at it in 6 months and see what FAR does? Or
I was just going to say that. We can change the rates at any time. And so if in January, FAR comes and increases the rates and we feel that, we need to adjust ours, then we can do that. But that's, Commissioner's Court passed an order.
We're higher already than FAR.
Yes.
At this point.
On commercial traffic.
On commercial traffic.
And passenger.
Yes.
With the increase.
Right.
With the increase, we'll be higher. Okay. All right. Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the toll rate schedule as presented by Mr. Sepulveda?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Benavides. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item R, consideration and approval of upgrade copier lease with the state contract. Mike, my question was just, is that something that, what we talked about yesterday, about trying to bring all these copier leases down in terms of price? Is that one of those?
Well, this one should really say downgrade because they're actually decreasing the price and removing a finisher. The price is going from $371 to $308, so it's headed in the right direction.
Okay, so really that's not an upgrade
It's a
per se.
downgrade.
I'm sorry?
It's a downgrade.
It's a downgrade, okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. Do I hear motion to approve by Commissioner Tamayo? Second by Commissioner Wood. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item T, consideration authorization to execute a license agreement between Cameron County Parks and Recreation and Robert Patterson, Vice Chairman of Sandcastle Days. Who pulled that one? Is that you, Commissioner?
Not yet.
Item T? Oh, that's one that you pulled? Okay.
Judge, Commissioners, the reason we pulled this one out was because there's a couple of requests that they've made as far as compensation or consideration. One of them is to offer a discount. What they would like to do is for the 7 days, they want to use the cabañas, and I think it's 3 RV sites. 3 RV sites. So they're wanting to give us a lump sum instead of paying us the normal rental for the RV sites and the normal rental for the cabañas.
What's the difference between the lump sum and the itemized sum?
$1,400, Judge.
Over what time frame? A week?
8 days, 7 days.
7 days. And just to give you an idea, Judge, in 2007, when we didn't have the sandcastles, for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we made, let's see, $2,992 as far as beach access fees. And in 2008, when they did come in, we made $8,564.
And that is, at that time, the court approved to lower the entry for, I guess, $1, right?
$1.
So we're able to make $8,564.
I think it's a good idea.
Now we're charging $4. We're not going to
come out
lower it.
ahead.
And your recommendation is to do it?
do it.
Okay. Commissioner?
Motion for approval.
Judge.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo.
Judge.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I spoke to Javier and Joe, and I told them that outside of not having it in a policy that we give discounts to certain groups at different times, we can't be doing that because that's a gift.
Well, but didn't y'all do it in 08 and 07? No? Is that not what happened? Isn't it you said that, no?
They didn't rent providers, and we give them.
Okay, what did you say about it? In 07, we made 2,000, in 08, we made 8,000.
Yeah, in 2007, we didn't have...
Okay, and that's
the-
without the
Right.
discount?
But we did approve a $1 discount during those days.
I'm talking about.
Entrance to the park,
That's correct.
To the park.
but not the cabaña rental.
Cabañas and the
Okay.
RVs, yes.
Is there anything in our,
I asked Joe that, and I asked Yet, and they said no. I said, look, you can do it for next year, maybe have the Parks Board, adopt something or recommend to the court that you adopt something in the policy to such an effect. But right now, from what I understand, there's nothing like that in the policy.
Okay.
in the past, had they used the 8 cabañas?
Yes, they have.
And they've used the RV sites?
Yes, and
But they
they
just
paid.
paid like
The regular.
regular fee?
That's correct.
So you're saying that it's illegal?
I'm saying to give them a gift at this point to allow them that discount is a gift.
It's
And
illegal.
until we do something or change the policy where the court decides they want to give such a discount to different groups or, different for different events, then that's when we can do it. But right now, we don't have any kind of a policy that allows for that kind of a discount on the providers.
We need to rescind them.
Well, then, that's real simple, you
Yeah.
just charge them regular fees.
We have to rescind them, the motion.
Right. Yeah, because I don't want to do anything that would compromise our bond.
Well, but even, I'll tell you what, even if you set up I think what you're trying to avoid is the arbitration of it, just whenever we do it. If you set up a policy, then what? Are we going to have, parameters that we're going to do? And maybe that's what you need to be working on a policy to do that.
But this is a constitutional issue, Judge.
Why don't we do this? Commissioner Tamayo rescinds her motion, and then between now and next year, develop a policy so we can try to do that next
Something
time.
in place.
Okay? All right.
I need a second.
Do they need a contract, though, for this year?
Yes.
And I think the license agreement is part of the agenda as well.
Yeah, the license
Right?
agreement is
Does
part-
not include the
That's-
cabañas.
Is this the standard license agreement without the discounts
The
that we're
standard
doing?
license agreement without the discount, yes, it
So then
is.
we
So
can go
can we
ahead and
approve
approve
that, Dilbio?
Yes, it's been
Okay.
already, legal
so
already,
that's-
yes.
So we can approve the license
The
agreement
license
without the
agreement.
discount.
Okay, that was moved again by Commissioner Tamayo.
Second.
Do I have a second by Commissioner Gatsa? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item carries. Thank you. Item V, consideration possible approval of agreement with Valley Proud Environmental Council to continue as sponsored members. Javier?
Yes, Commissioner.
I had asked that it be, I wanted it up for discussion, Judge, but I would like, I understand this is a $2,500 membership fee or whatever. Is
Yes.
that what this is?
Yes, and what it is, it helps out in different, I guess, areas. They help us out on some educational and advertisement that they do for our beach cleanups and also for the Captain Crab anti-litter campaign. They provide some of the signs that we put out at some of our beach access points and so on.
Okay. Being that we don't have code enforcement going on right now, would those $2,500 not help you out if we were able to put them back into your budget so that we could monitor the litter on the beach? I mean, I think we're already approving another grant application that's going to the Lower Rio Grande Development Council and sponsored by the county for additional funds for Valley Proud. I would like to see this money relocated, in this case, to your budget to see, I mean, right now people are calling me and telling me that, the bathrooms aren't being cleaned, that this and that and the other, and I can see where maybe you would be able to utilize that money there.
And on that, Commissioner, just briefly, we are going to apply for some grants to try to get the code enforcement back in the Parks Department.
But up until the
For-
time that
for
we actually
equipment.
get it,
Right.
I mean, that's up for discussion. I don't know what the
How
rest of the
expensive
coun-
is code enforcement, as an example?
Last year, just the staff was $18,500. Now, what we did was, the equipment was through a grant. So the only thing we provided, of course, was fuel and everything
Personnel.
else. So.
Do you feel that this is that beneficial? Does it justify the benefit we get from it?
Well, I had emailed a breakdown from Valley Proud, and they show what the benefits, direct benefits and indirect benefits. And like I mentioned, the signs that we put up at the parks, of course, this is through grant that they get from the General Land Office, but on the signs, they show it $2,800. So just as there,
Just
with
on signs
just
themselves.
on signs, it'd pay for it.
I know I've
But we-
attended a few of their Captain Crab Beach Patrol puppet shows when they've sponsored them, and, that activity to a fourth grade elementary campus is really well worth the investment, because wherever they're called, they'll go do the show.
Yeah. One thing that I had suggested, and I spoke to Commissioner Garza about this, was I had suggested that maybe for the $2,500, and not just for the $2,500, but to allow us to participate on the board of Valley Proud.
This is what I was going to mention. And I think it's justified that we contribute, but I would like to recommend that we write them a letter asking that the county be represented on the board.
I think, yeah.
I think that's, if we're going to work together and put money on the table, I think we should have representation.
So then
Can
you
I add that to-
recommend approving it based on that, asking?
Excuse me?
You are willing to recommend approving this, but with the stipulation that we want to be members of
With
the
the
board?
stipulation that we get a board member.
To work on with the organization.
Right.
To-
And you'd
to serve on
mentioned...
the board.
Yeah, we've already visited with that. They
Yes.
haven't assured us that they would, but,
Well, I want assurance.
well, then, make the motion. I'll be more than happy to
That's
second.
exactly the motion I'm making.
I'll
That's what
second
I
it.
stated.
All right, moved by Commissioner Tamayo to continue to sponsor the Valley Proud Environmental Council to the tune of $2,500 with the condition that they provide a seat on that board for a representative of Cameron County. And that was moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Gatsa. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item Y, consideration authorization to utilize TASB by-board co-op purchasing agreement for the purchase and installation of playground equipment via Miracle Recreation Equipment Company for the Laureles Community Park Project.
Javier, the only question I had on this was making sure that this equipment would be 100% disabled approved.
Yes.
It is?
It's not 100%, but what we did was, I'm not sure if you recall when we brought this to the court 6 months ago, 8 months ago, what we were going to do is we were going to have access from the outside sidewalk where you can actually wheel on to an area, a large area where would provide handicap accessibility.
Okay. Well, as long as it's going to be handicapped accessible.
Yes, sir.
and approved. Okay. Move to approve, Judge.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Wood. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item
And
carries.
I do wish to thank Javier, because I think that this commission heard a request maybe 4 or 5 months ago from Mr. Zarate in regards to, in the future, try to plan these activities to make sure and be inclusive of the disabled. And I appreciate you making sure, Javier, that that was part of this.
Thank you, Javier. Item E, consideration approval to pay for Frontera materials, the sum of $8407.71 without a purchase order. My question was, how did that happen and why did it happen, and what are you doing to prevent it from happening again?
This is just an underestimation of the quantities. They started laying the hot mix, and you know the quantities went over the amount that was in the cost estimate. So once you started laying the hot mix, you know, we couldn't stop and get another purchase order. If we would have caught it, and we have situations where we do catch it, you know, to where we do have
Well,
time.
it's unusual. I've never really seen it come before us, so it just kind of stuck out.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Commissioner
Second.
Tamayo, second by Commissioner Wood. All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. K, consideration authorization for county judge to complete form for unclaimed funds belonging to the county. David? I think Commissioner Benavides had a
Yes.
question.
Actually, what I wanted to do is I wanted to thank David for stepping up to the plate and looking for unclaimed funds with the state comptroller. I want to thank you for, we found some money, didn't we?
Yes, good news, we found 27,000, a little bit over 27,000. I think the largest check is at 2,500 and the smallest is $1. So it's some good news for the county, and I'm glad we were able to get that money.
And we encourage people to look up their names online.
Yeah, they should.
It's nice of you, David, to be looking up our name.
Okay, thank you.
He's probably looking under Betancourt.
He was looking for me.
Look under us, too.
Yeah, this wasn't under my name, this was under Cameron County. I looked under specifically for Cameron County, that's what we got.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, David.
Do I hear a motion to approve by Commissioner Tamayo?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Did you want to look at AA?
No, did we approve that also or not?
I think so. I don't think AA was pulled out. Was it? No? Okay.
No, it wasn't pulled
Been
out.
approved. M, 444th District Court Judge traveled to Austin, Texas on 4/15/09 to attend meeting with state reps in reference to the bailiffs.
Is this item an item that comes from a grant fund? question number
No,
one.
no, it does not. This is being charged to the district court's trial budget, which is general fund.
And why is it 4 months late?
It came on the agenda because there is a reimbursement that's being requested, which is for airfare and parking for the vehicle. It was a one-day flight, fly in the morning and fly back in the afternoon, in the evening. And when the reimbursement was requested by the court, we need to have Commissioners Court approval so that we can reimburse the travel to the judge.
How much are we talking about?
I believe it's 300 and some odd dollars.
Well, my question is, I mean, I'm just concerned because it's 4 months late. And most of the time, we approve
Travel before.
travel, especially if it's going to be travel that does not include any education. This is just a...
Well, let me ask a question
effort.
that when the legislative session was bless you, was in its, when they were in session, I think this court took a position to making sure that we sent the message to all elected officials that if they were going to go out and go to a legislative, to put it on our legislative packet, so we go together, and this did not happen. So what was the reason to go talk to the state reps about the bailiffs, and what resulted of it?
I don't know what the reason for the travel was, other than that it was up for a meeting and discussion with the bailiffs. The cost is $331.90, and I am unaware of what the resolution was as well.
Okay. What do you all want to do?
I would reluctantly move to approve, but I would hope in the future that, we don't wait 4 months after travel is done for the court to get noticed. And also, if there's testimony to be presented that, we're made aware of that.
I'll send a memo out to the courts.
I have a question. On the last form here, it has, I guess, yellow cab, $23.50, and then there's a $23.50, and then $7. Was that the tip, or what was he doing with that? The very last...
Cab fare.
That was a $7 fare that was charged on a Visa credit card, and the $23.50 is the yellow cab, is the cab fare.
But I know it's cab fare, but I'm asking, why did he add the $7?
The $7 is the parking fee at the airport.
Parking at the airport in Harlingen.
Doesn't make sense.
And the other charge is the airfare.
Well, I had a reluctant motion by Commissioner Gatsa. Do I have a reluctant second?
Double reluctant.
Second by Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Okay. 6A, budget amendments, line item transfers, and/or salary schedules. We're going to do the budget amendments, approval of claims. Then we're going to go into item H, which would be the discussion on the budget. That way you don't have to get up and sit down and do all that, okay? So budget amendments, line item transfer. Let's do that one first, Javier.
We're trying to save your energy.
He looks tired.
I need the use of energy. Judge and Commissioners, I placed before you, I believe it's 5 pages of line item transfers. For various departments within their particular departmental budgets. Within on page 2, on the second one for the JP administration, that's allocating the security fees for action that the court took a couple of weeks ago for the JP's offices in Sabanito. Below that, I know there was one for the sheriff's office for having to allocate, I'm trying to find what page it is. It starts on the bottom of page 3, but the actual amounts are on page 4. Allocate part of their fuel budget for vehicle repairs. They're completely out of funds for vehicle repairs, and $10,000 is being transferred out of that particular line item for vehicle repairs. Board, engineering. Last page is drug forfeiture funds. There's one salary schedule for the DA's pretrial release division where they're reallocating funds or increasing a particular slot. The funds are available within that particular budget. If you have any specific questions on any of the other ones, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions?
On the Valle Escondido and Hermoso 2, what is that about?
Let me see what page.
Is that on the grant for the sewer project?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that's what that is.
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Benavides. Do I have a second? Moved by, second by Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item B, approval of claims.
So we're going to be going to fuel from now on then.
I'm sorry?
We're going to be going to fuel from now on for budget amendments.
On the Sheriff's Department, correct. They are out of money for vehicle repairs. On the warrants and claims, I have warrants number 224019 through 224373. Payroll-related claims are warrants number 224511 through 224538. The additional register check number 224511 through 224540. And I also have the payroll dated August the 20th, which is $1,603,956.34 for your approval.
Recommend their approval.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion by Commissioner Garza? Second by Commissioner Wood. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Please note my abstentions on the affidavits that I provided.
And notice my abstention. Where do I have it? I have it here somewhere.
If there's no objection from the court, I'd like to move item H, discussion and possible action regarding the fiscal year 2009-2010 budget.
Judge and Commissioners, I place before you a
Is this about budget or is this about? Okay. Should I read it now?
Okay.
Can we make it public?
I guess
Is
I'll wait.
Is this public or is this?
Confidential,
I
or
haven't
can we
seen
make
it, so.
public?
Public now. This thing is too fancy.
Go for it.
I place before you a worksheet of the status of where we're at. It's a lot of the items from last week, of course, where the court gave us direction to prepare the budget have been incorporated. So this is where we're at. The total revenues expenditures listed there with the shortfall, which is coming from last week of just over $241,000. Since last week, Mr. Forbes has received some information from various vendors in some of the cost-saving methods that they were going to propose, or which we were trying to see if they could come back with repricing or some suggestions as saving costs. Some of them have come back. Some of them are not finalized yet. What you have here is some of the recommendations or the potential savings from the recommendations that the vendors are making. The vendor that provides our cleaning products or household products based on just of the items that are being purchased currently versus an alternate list, the cost savings to the M&O budgets for various buildings is $29,000, which is included there. The Sprint was evaluating our current plan and comparing it to I guess a new plan that was recently entered into with HGAC, which we can participate in. There's savings in the plan rates, and so by us participating in that, to the general fund, we're looking at a savings of $20,000, which will be factored into the individual departmental budgets. Last week we spoke, or we mentioned about the copiers and trying to standardize the machines that the county is currently leasing and going with a state contract price. The purchasing department has been reviewing those individual contracts, and based on the terms of those, the ones that are up for renewal, where there is a possible buyout for those machines, to switch to the standardized machines, the total savings is approximately $10,000. To the general funds, it's $4,320, but that's only for this fiscal year. Each year, as these agreements come up for renewal, there'll be savings at those times that will be realized when they get renewed. These are the only ones that we can actually change at this particular time. But what we would ask the court also is for any new agreements that are coming before the court, that the court set a standard that we actually, that they approve that these are the machines which the court or the departments are authorized to enter into a lease agreement with. Any deviation from that would have to be justified before the Commissioner's Court and approved by the court. The IT department, along with the purchasing department, has been in conversations with AT&T in relation to both our frame relays and our actual phone contracts that we have for services. In relation to the frame relay, AT&T has done some analysis, and currently based on the contract that we're under and then modifying it, there's an approximate $34,000 annual savings that are projected. The final numbers, I think, will probably be for, I'm not sure if Joe's still here, next week. But at this point, and there's possibility for additional savings for some other items within the contract that they're still working on. The office supply, which is pretty significant. Currently, the county budgets over $700,000 within office supplies. The office supply budget for all departments, other than the jail, because that one's segregated, some of the cleaning products are within the office supply line item, so they kind of overlap a little bit in some of the departments. But based on, say, an estimated 5% savings, we actually anticipated it's going to be greater than that. Hopefully by the end of the week they'll have those numbers. We're looking at $25,000 in potential savings, which will be allocated to the individual department budgets. They'll actually be reduced by a particular amount. Assuming we're able to realize all of those savings, we're still at a shortfall of just under $130,000.
You know, when we started the budget process, if you all recall, we were 5.6 million. And just kind of playing with these numbers, based on what you're telling us right now, that of that 5.6 million, 3.4 million has come from within, through budget cuts, through these types of savings. And as we talked about early on, it's going to take a lot of different initiatives to balance a budget. Of the new revenues, assuming that we go to a penny of 1.3 million plus 708,000 in new tolls, what we've managed to, what you all have done with the help of all the departments is to reduce our expenditure budget by 3.4 mil. That's significant. I mean, it's for over 50% of what we needed to do, and we need to be doing that all the time. Now, if we go back, as you continue with these savings, the goal, I believe, should be that once we get to this 129, 426, okay, wherever we find it, we need to keep going and not stop because we balanced it. Let's keep going, and whatever extra we start to save, then we start reducing the tax rate from the penny to, don't start sweating on me, Javier, but we start reducing that to, the penny should be where we go to next. If all of a sudden you find, we're able to raise, let's say our total projections, you utilize the lowest month, which was June, and even to that number, you discounted by, was it 15% or 25%? 15%? It was 10%, and that was on the lousiest month we had, which was June. So that's a very conservative number. If you go back to the auditor and start really what is a little bit more realistic, maybe it's not 708, maybe it's 808, don't know. Once we get past that red number and we get into the black, then that number should be taken off the tax rate. That way we don't have to adopt, this number's got to be zero. You know, we cannot, well, I guess we shouldn't, unless we're going to start saying, okay, well, you know what, one of these line items should be the fund balance. You know, we're gonna, you know, if we have leftovers, that's going to be targeted to the fund balance. But you know, so get your thoughts on it, but that's, I don't want to stop when it gets to zero. We need to keep trying and find
And I think
for
that
budgets.
we should consider, you know, I mean, okay, funds were found, but we found 1 penny tax increase to bring in revenues. We shifted 1 penny from a badly needed area into the general fund to do that. And I really believe, I very strongly believe that we are going to suffer the consequences of that 1 penny shift. Because those of us that have large, you know, public works areas that have a lot of roads, you know, we're always out of operational dollars 6 months, 5 months into the year. And, you know, it's going to be something that is going to come up, and it's going to hurt. And there's projects that we won't be able to do because we won't have dollars in those accounts.
Well, let me ask you, Commissioner, this. If you all support that concept in terms of, you know, having them continue to look, even after this reaches zero, then we can discuss whether we do the full penny shift from the road and bridge. Maybe it could be 9/10 of a penny. You know, I mean, you know, to the taxpayer, it's going to be 1 penny, or do a combination. You know, we can discuss that, but what I don't want to do is once we find the 129, everything stops, hey, we're balanced, let's move forward. I think we need to continue trying to cut on the expenditure side, and then continue trying to ask you all to continue finding, you know, additional revenue sources. And then we can talk, I mean, let's be in a position where you say, okay, now we don't need to shift the whole penny. Or maybe we can reduce the tax rate to 9/10 or 8/10 of a penny instead of 1. That's, I mean, I want to get to that level to discuss.
I mean, we see what the 3.5%, you know, discussion brought to the table from that division, okay? You know, I mean, that particular road and bridge is, I think it equates to about, what, 15% reduction? The 1 penny transfer?
I think it equates to more than that.
I mean, what's the total budget, 12 million? I mean, so, you know, I mean, everybody's taking hits, and we're hitting that department pretty strongly.
And the thing is, and you've already said it, through no fault of our own, we're trying to do our best here and balance the budget, and we have to work together on it. But those of us that have more miles are the ones that are going to feel it the most.
And you know, I hope Orca comes through.
What is that reduction?
Because if they don't come through, we're going to be in real bad shape.
Well, if we can, at least for now, you know, encourage staff to continue.
What's the total budget?
It was, currently it's at 12.6. For next year, it's going to be 10.1.
Okay, which is, you know, like, what, $2.5 million less?
Well, it should only be 1.3 million.
Well, part of that is also to pay, there's also a reduction because to pay for the bonds that were issued, the debt comes off the top of the road and bridge side.
Okay.
For the project roadmap.
Well, let's. I just want to encourage staff to, once, you know, like I said, when you balance that, keep going, keep looking for more. If we get to the point where we can discuss the penny transfer or the penny increase, we can talk about that. But at least let's get to that point. So after the 129, keep going. You know, try to find, I mean, Mike, I know Mike Forbes is here. You know, it's amazing. I mean, he gave me some numbers the other day, and it's amazing how much we're going to save just in copier leases by not buying the Cadillacs. I mean, you don't have to have 60 pages a minute, you know, and all these bells and whistles, you know, and coming up with a standard for a copier, you know, that's going to save us a lot of money.
Well, Mike was in my office yesterday, and was it Dahlia? Yeah, Dahlia was with you. And she looked at our copier, and she smiled. And she said if everybody did this, we'd be saving money. And, I think some of us have been doing that all along, but it hasn't been across the board. That's a problem.
And what we'd like to do is come to the court with standards, not just for copiers, but there's many areas we can adopt standards for, and I think it'll drive the cost down.
And we just have to stand firm.
And we've talked many times, Mike, about standardizing computer systems, but to the point of what you need and not necessarily what is available, because, a lot of people don't need the full-blown, everything, high-powered computers. They can get their work done, very well with something that's less powerful and a lot less expensive.
That's right. Yep.
So it's really not a standardization in that case. It's more of a needs as opposed to a wants. We need to be looking at needs.
I think that Mike found that in working with the copiers, even at the lower rate, they were able to get features on these machines that were not going to be available on the machines that we were paying much higher for.
Exactly. And the state contract's very aggressive, and the pricing is much lower than it was years ago. And
There's a huge markup on these computer leases. I mean, it's amazing how much you can negotiate out. Yeah, the computer, the copier leases, there's a huge margin. I mean, there's a lot of wiggle room in those, so.
I think
Mike, I wanna
5-year
thank you for doing
contracts
that.
maybe is a thing of the past. Maybe we need to start looking at shorter-term contracts.
and the
also.
buyouts, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right, so if there's no issue with the court, then that's okay, just to have them continue looking so we can try to reduce either the penny transfer or the penny increase, one of the two.
That'll be a nice
Okay, yeah, that'd be
discussion
great.
to have.
Okay, yeah, let's get to that point. Just keep looking, and I really want to sit down and go over these tolls again, okay? Because I think the 708 that you're looking at is probably a fairly conservative number, which is fine. But if there's any room out there, you got to be comfortable with it, because you're the one that's name's you got to sign, all right?
Next week we'll have another.
You'll have July of a month.
month.
Exactly.
That'll be 90 days of the new passport implementation, so.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the budget, Javier, that you want to bring forward?
Go to the supplemental agenda.
Not at the present time.
You done? Any questions on his presentation on the budget? If not, do I hear a motion to acknowledge?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Commissioner Benavides. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
What item was that?
We have to do I first.
You want to go to I?
No, but we did H.
Consideration and authorization to hold a public hearing regarding the setting of elected official salaries for 2009-2010 fiscal year. Do I hear a motion to open a public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. We are in a public hearing. Does anybody wish to address the Commissioners' Court regarding the setting of elected official salaries? Do I hear a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Benavides. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Item carries. You want to go to the supplemental now?
Supplemental, 1A.
Okay, supplemental agenda, items 1A, consideration and action regarding the setting of elected officials' compensation. Martha, or is that you?
Judge and Commissioners, the notice was published in both the Valley Morning Star and the Brownsville Herald, notifying the public that the Commissioners Court was considering setting the elected officials at a maximum at their current total compensation.
Do I hear, so you need a motion on that?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to set the salaries at the existing amount?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Thank you.
Can I go to the rest of the agenda?
We want to do the second supplemental.
The other supplemental.
So you can start.
All right.
Let's do that.
Doesn't matter, we're going to do the same. Let's get through with the regular, then we'll go back, it's not a problem. Okay, item C, approval of minutes for July the 23rd and July the 28th, regular and special meeting respectively. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by
Second.
Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item E, discussion and possible action regarding the approval of an order appointing the members of the Padre Island Zoning Commission. Richard, do you want to kind of introduce everything?
Did you skip D or what?
Table D.
You table D.
I can either raise my
Oh, I'll
voice
go
or
back.
go to the podium.
You didn't table D.
Mike is working.
That's fine. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got seven names here, and just explain what we're going to do in terms when we draw the names, what those terms are.
Give them terms.
There we have the terms.
The order number that I take it from our discussion last time that you all are entertaining is 2009-08034, which will be a standing zoning commission. And in order to have staggered terms, then the way the order is drawn up is the first three names listed will be one-year terms, the next four 2-year.
Now, when does that start?
It'll start right now when you appoint them, when you sign the order.
All right, okay.
And
Okay, question. Those that are, is there any, nothing in the order says anything about renaming them, right?
No, that-
Prevents the county from renaming the individuals.
No, nothing prevents you from renaming them, you mean in like a year from now?
A year from now.
That's correct. You can reappoint them.
Okay, reappoint.
It would be up to the commission at that time.
Okay.
All right. So the first name for a one-year term, Horacio Barrera. The second name is Doyle Wells. Third name is Robert Fudge. Now, those first three are for one-year terms, right?
Yes, the
And
remainder will
next
be,
four are 2-year?
yes.
Okay. First name on the 2-year term is Stanford Knowles. Roman Esparza. Luis Hernandez. Herb Houston. Got it?
I just have one question, Judge, or another question. You know, each one of us were able to suggest a name to Commissioners Court for this commission or this zoning board, you know. Zoning commission, I guess is the appropriate word. And we did so, and I believe, you know, you had 2 people.
I only appointed one.
You only appointed one? Where did the other one come from?
I think they come from the South Padre Island.
Okay. Oh, that's right, yeah, that, we went through that exercise. Nothing of that part of that exercise becomes part of the order,
No.
which would mean that the next time that you appointed Horacio Barrera? Okay. When he comes up and you make the appointment, it has to be unanimously or by the majority of the court approved?
I don't know.
Yes, each time.
Each time you vote for him.
Yeah, each time, a year from now, there will be 3 vacancies or 3 pending
Well, I think
vacancies.
the question is, does the Commissioners Court have to approve a commission member's appointee?
Yes.
Well, it's by order.
Well, but you'll have to approve, if you're talking about when it comes up again, yes, you'll have to prove it again.
It's the same process as any other board that we have, like Cameron County Housing Authority and so on. We suggest the same person, but the
Each
court...
one of us.
Yeah, but the court still has to vote.
What would happen, Commissioner, is just when it comes up again, you'll have 3, and similar to what you've done this time, there'll have to be discussion on how you want to, appoint, or how you want to come up to the names, and you all have to eventually come to an agreement, and it has to be by a majority of the court.
Okay. Just wanted to know.
Then I guess to kind of clarify this, for example, I think your appointment was the first one, Mr. Barrera.
Right.
When that comes up next year, that position is the judge's appointment?
No, it's a court's
Okay.
appointment.
Then we're going to determine at that time how that person to fill that slot is appointed.
Yes, just very similar to the process here. You all have to decide how you want to come up with a name, and then ultimately, it'll have to be a majority appointment.
Because we had like a gentleman's agreement that the town
Yeah.
won, you know,
The
we
same
went,
one.
each one of us one individual, you know? And the gentleman's agreement only holds if
long as
three
you're
gentlemen want to do it.
As long as you're gentlemen.
Or gentlewomen.
Yes, gentlepersons.
That's how we do the RMA.
Yeah, but we respect each other's appointments, okay?
You can do that, I mean, it's however you all want to handle it when it comes up a year from now.
Okay. Any further comments? No? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the names as drawn and selected to be on the Padre Island Zoning Commission by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Tamayo? Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item F, consideration action requesting, let's go back and do D. I put table on there. Consideration and possible approval to grant the U.S. Department of Army a right of entry for construction on track number ... Do I hear motion to table?
Move to table.
By Commissioner Wood, do I second by Commissioner Gatz? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Roger. Item F, consideration and action requesting approval of the early voting and election day polling locations for November 3rd, 2009 general election and for the hourly rate of pay for poll workers.
Yes, good evening, Judge, Commissioners. As we discussed it during one of the meetings on the budget, this is my presentation to you for approval of the locations for our November election. If you will see what's in your packet, you have 4 early voting locations for this November election. That's 1 in each commissioner's precinct. We normally have 8 or 10 locations. And so we're cutting down to 1 in each commissioner's precinct. Now, what we have is a constitutional amendment election. And usually we have a very low turnout. However, you know, every election like that we have like this, we usually, you know, try to encourage people to go out to vote. But unfortunately, we do have low turnouts. So I don't believe that there will be a big difference because of of cutting down on our early voting locations. So I think we need to do this in order that we stay within our proposed reduction in our budgets. And not only in Cameron County, but throughout the state, the counties are doing this. They're cutting down quite a bit. As a matter of fact, there's a large number of counties that are cutting down election day locations far more than what we are doing here. But this was what I worked on when I was working on the budget and cutting down on it. So the other thing is...
Rio Hondo doesn't have a voting location?
Doesn't have?
Rio Hondo?
Rio...
on the polling places?
I believe that Rio Hondo
I see Las Yescas.
is combined.
Combined to
Yeah.
Combs, maybe, or?
We had Rio Hondo High School
Yeah.
before, which is, you know, was precinct 61. And precinct 61 is, I'm sorry.
In Brownsville?
I'm sorry, 81. And we have that one combined. Let's see where.
I don't even see it
I
on
don't
there.
see it.
North of Royal
81
Street.
should be on there.
I don't see
In
precinct
Rio Hondo.
81 anywhere.
Yeah,
it's
it's
in Rio Hondo.
item number 20.
20?
Item 20.
Oh, okay,
but,
yeah, there it
that's
is.
not-
Civic Center.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Had
it's
you
not-
going there for a while?
We've cut down one of the, the high school.
Okay,
Okay.
just one.
Sorry about that, yeah.
I
we
couldn't
have one
see it.
At the Civic Center.
Okay.
And La Feria has one.
Anything else, Roger?
Yes, sir. On the pay rate for the election workers, we're increasing the clerks from $7 to $7.25 to comply with the new rates. However, I'm asking the commissioners if we're going to increase, or by increments of 25 cents, the alternate and the judges, because we had the alternates and the judges, they're all at 25 cents, that separates them. Or we could do the judges leave them at $7.50 and bring the clerks to $7.25, which would include the
What's your recommendation?
I'm sorry?
What did you factor into the budget?
725, 750, and 775.
If that's what you did, then
Yeah, we have
we're
to
locked
go
in.
over
I mean,
the
that's,
budgeted.
and that includes what you're presenting is the $26,000 savings that
Yes,
that
sir.
you did from your
That's
department, correct? Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
Move to approve, Judge.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Item G, consideration and approval of Cameron County Accident Prevention Plan update.
The intention of this accident prevention plan is to get an endorsement from you all so that I can take it out to the different departments and do training on safety, trying to reduce the number of incidents or accidents and trying to work with the supervisors and department heads, being very conscious of whose responsibility it is the safety of the employee. And it relies a lot on the supervisor and the department head. We've had a lot of incidents. We've had 24 accidents that have lost time. Some are very short. We only have about 3 people out right now, but we've had vehicle accidents, about 14 since January 1. We're doing defensive driver training. We're going to do emergency response driver training for law enforcement. But I feel we need to go out, and so I went over the accident prevention plan, the old one, which is about 4 years old, and updated it and sent it out to all the departments so that they could give me some response on it and see if they want it. And so now we're at the point where I got to present it so I can go and take it out to the field, to the departments. And that's why I brought this up to you.
What do y'all want to do?
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa.
Seems to be very thorough.
Second by Commissioner Tamayo. Discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item J, Sheriff Department staff 2 to travel to Austin, Texas on 8/23 to 8/26/09 to attend the TAC conference.
It's a T-close.
That's with the T-close. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Commissioner Wood. Second by Commissioner Tamayo. That qualifies for T-close hours.
Okay.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item K,
Well, the question should be, are they needed for certification, not whether it qualifies or not.
do they have the hours?
Because I think that this court has taken a position that it doesn't matter that we get more hours than we need, it matters that we get the minimum amount of hours required
Right.
so that we can get things done.
No, I spoke to Gus, and they lack those hours.
Okay.
Martha, when are you guys going to start doing your, keeping track of all people that travel in terms of their continuing education hours?
We have already started keeping track of it since Commissioner Scott started reviewing each travel item individually. I don't know, did they identify who's traveling?
Yes, Gus and the sheriff.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know who was traveling, so I did not.
I think for future agendas, we need to know not only the backup information, because sometimes it'll just say 2 people travel, we don't know who it is. That needs to be on there. And I would even suggest that we put it on the face of the agenda on who's traveling, because when someone accesses our agenda, they don't have the backup information as of today. And, people may want to know who's going
We'll look to
where.
reviewing the
Okay.
form, so
All
that
right.
can be incorporated.
Okay, thank you. Item K, consideration approval of change order number 7 with the Yates Construction in the amount of $3249. That's $3,249 for the Carizales Rucker Edition project.
Good evening. The $3,249, and some of these other amounts have been modified slightly lower to reflect a reduction in the burden cost, the overhead, any contingencies that were applied by percentage. So we have 3 additive numbers and 1 large deduct number.
Tell us what the big one is, the 212 reduction.
The $212,000
That's on item
reduction,
N.
it was for equipment allowances that the jail is going to need in the existing facility in order to accommodate the expansion. That was some laundry equipment, kitchen equipment, and conveyor equipment. The kitchen equipment was a $100,000 allowance. The laundry and conveyor equipment were $56,000 each. Those allowances were budgeted based on some numbers that Mike Leinert and the sheriff had looked at, and we included them with this contract in order to get the coordination that we may need from the contractor and so on. However, Mike and the sheriff have been looking at it and feel that if the county goes out and buys the equipment that they need and they know what they want, we feel that we can save some money. That's their position. That's their understanding that we can save some money. So what we intend to do is remove this sum of money from the Yates contract and go out and purchase the equipment ourselves and try to save some money.
Mr. Garcia, on this particular amounts for each one, are these line items on the current contract, or are these three numbers arbitrarily agreed upon by negotiating with the contractor?
These are line items in the contract that we placed in there at the time we went to contract with Yates.
Okay, do any questions on item K, which is change order number 7, totaling $3,249? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Gatsa. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Change order number 8, totaling $2,762. Do y'all want to discuss that, or do you want to approve it?
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item M, consideration approval of change order number 9 with Yates Construction in the amount of $4,888. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Commissioner Benavides. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Commissioner Wood. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item N, consideration approval of change order number 10 with Yates Construction, a decrease of $212,000. Do I hear a motion to approve?
We're going to be expecting something to come back to us at a later date.
Probably.
For some specific amount of money. Less than this, right? Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo. Do I have a second? By Commissioner Wood. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item O, FEMA reimbursements. Robert?
Just real quick, the building is going up pretty fast, and so if y'all want a tour, let me know. I think right now we're looking at probably completing that project in the next 9, maybe 10 months, but let me know if y'all want to take a tour out there.
How much ahead of schedule will that be, Pete?
That's probably right on schedule.
We're scheduled, right now the job is scheduled to complete at the end of August of next year.
So about 30, 45 days.
Assuming.
2 months.
Well, the sooner the better, because then
I
we
don't
can
want to
start
speak for the
housing.
contractor yet, but things are going well, and they're doing a really good job. And as Pete mentioned, we would invite all of y'all to go out there and take a look at it while it's in these stages.
Thank you. Robert, I don't know.
Judge, Commissioners, good evening. Last week, I know Judge and I had made some calls to Mr. Colley himself, and I believe the judge had some luck in communicating with him. As of August the 17th, there were 14 deposits that were made, and which totaled $437,147.53. So
Say that figure again?
$437,147.53. So I think the avenue we took did make a change in getting some rolling some monies into the.
So we're how far apart now?
Now, we've reduced it, we're at about approximately 1.5, still in the negative with them, but at least
Give them a
we were
couple
at
of weeks and
2.
start calling again.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Benavides. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Supplemental. Another supplemental. Item A, consideration and action regarding the composition of the Cameron County Salary Grievance Committee pursuant to Code Section 152.014. What we've done in the past, at least the last couple of years, we've selected members of one of the grand juries. And that's what this motion's got to be?
Is it one, or was it all of them?
You know, it can't be all, because I've only got 30 names.
Well, in the past, didn't we sit here and go through 100 and 144?
Yeah, we're only doing 30.
Why is that?
I don't
I
know.
thought the statute said all of them.
I changed the statute.
Where's Richard?
And I approve.
Well, I don't have a problem, I just want to make sure, you know, because in the past.
I don't think last year we pulled 144 names, Commissioner.
No.
We didn't, right?
I didn't say last year, I said in the
Because
past.
last year it was 30.
Well, last year was the past.
Last year-
past is.
Last
And
year
I
it
was
was
only
30.
2 years, I don't think 2 years ago we pulled
Last year it
144
was
names.
30, and we're not behind bars, so we can do it.
Okay, all right, that's right. Okay, so to hear a motion to use the,
Oh, that's legal? Yes. Okay.
okay, do I hear a motion to use the members of the grand jury?
How do you select which grand jury you use?
Moved by Commissioner Wood, because there's only one, well, because there's only one official court that can call for a grand jury.
Okay, so you
Officially.
use,
I'm assuming we're
and it
using the
will be through the
138.
year?
But you can't use the one that's official. There's only one district court that's officially.
The judge can
Can do it.
choose.
Okay.
what jury.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just want to get educated.
We may be here a long time. Okay, moved by Commissioner Wood, do I have a second?
Second.
By Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, item carries. Item B, consideration, selection of public members for the Cameron County Salary Grievance Committee in compliance with Texas Local Government Code Section 152.014A and 152.015. The first name is Jose Luis Gonzalez from Harlingen.
Want to be legal?
Sandra Alvarez Partida from San Benito.
Are you putting a number on it, so that?
The clerk is. Cecilia Kathleen Doria
Make
from
sure,
San Benito.
Because we go from the top to the bottom for the first 12 that serve, right?
We have
It's up from the
somebody taking
beginning.
care of
Yes.
it, Commissioner.
God, you're inquisitive today. Sylvia M. Gonzalez from Brownsville.
He doesn't have anything to do after the meeting, that's why.
Okay. Nardis K. Ruiz from Harlingen.
The game's tomorrow night.
Michael de la Rosa from Harlingen. Ooh. Marina Alegría from Brownsville. Rosalba Hernandez from San Benito. Diana Galvan from San Benito. Lisa M. Coronado from Brownsville.
Go slow. Go slow.
These are backup. Julio Isabel Pacheco from Harlingen. Udelia Sanchez from Brownsville. Cut up? Udelia? Victor Daniel Rodriguez Jr. from Brownsville. Don Rogers from Harlingen. Norma R. Gutierrez from Harlingen. Erika Menchaca from Brownsville. Beverly Estrada from Brownsville. Kathy Cantu from Brownsville. Hector Quintanilla from Brownsville. Jaime Enrique Galindo from Harlingen. Kenneth Jenks from Brownsville. James Eric Cuellar from Harlingen. Roman Dean Esparza from Brownsville. No, it's not your appointee. Susana Perez from Bayview. Sharon Cowart from Harlingen. Reynaldo M. Cortinas from Brownsville. Edwin Dornbush from Los Fresnos. Jennifer Monique Wareham from Brownsville. Lucinda Torres from Brownsville. Daniel Santos from Harlingen. Ivan Rodriguez from Brownsville. Ajera C. Garza from Harlingen. Griselda del Toro, San Benito. Ruben Garzoria from Brownsville. Mary H. Leal. Doesn't have a city. Looks like it's a Brownsville phone number. That's Brownsville. Juan G. Barrera from San Benito. Oscar Abraham Sosa from Brownsville. Dinora Stinson from Brownsville. David Ingersoll from Los Fresnos. Monica Alman from San Benito. And last, Maria Isabel Jimenez from Harlingen.
There's one more.
Oh, no, one more. Next to the last, Virginia Pulido from Brownsville. That's it. Okay.
Move to approve.
Do I hear a motion to approve the public member selected by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Wood? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Anything else? Do I hear a motion to...
Do we have another agenda?
No, I think we did them all. That's it. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
By Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Benavides. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. God save this honorable court.